Hello, it's Mark Zickery of Space Command, also known as Mr. Sci-Fi, but today I'm going to talk about something a little different because I'm very disturbed by some of the things we're seeing in the news, and I've been thinking about this. I just wanted to talk about it for a minute. It gets to two key questions, of course, which science fiction has long addressed, but I wanted to talk about for a moment and give some suggestions. So, the questions are, what is reality? A question that Twilight so often dealt with and science fiction has dealt with, and what is a fact? And I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking that TV and movies and the news often twist what a fact really is, what reality really is. The television drama, let's say, it needs to dramatize. That means stuff has to happen. People have to get murdered. People have to get hurt. People have to be menaced and threatened. And I think, and then of course the news. The news is looking for what bad thing has just happened. Who's been killed? Who's been exploded? Who's at war? Who's been robbed? Who's been threatened? And I think certain people, I won't name names, but certain people are getting their reality from the media, particularly certain news programs. Again, I won't name, and they believe that that's what's reality. So, they think that Muslims are all terrorists. Black people are all living in ghettos and violent. Immigrants are dangerous and criminals. And this isn't true. This isn't true. And I think that what we need to start doing, rather than listening to what we see in television and film and from some politicians, is actually look at our own lives, look at the people around us. Because every day, let's say in the news they report that 30 people have been blown up in Baghdad, let's say, or somewhere in the States, or in Sweden, let's say. Any day that 30 people have been blown up, billions of people haven't. Anytime that any bad thing has happened, let's say there's a country at war, billions of countries aren't at war. Or let's say billions of people in those countries aren't at war. And most people get up, they do their work, they're good to their neighbors, they're good to their families, they live their lives. And so I think we need to look around us at the people in our lives, and we need to start noticing what's actually happening and acting from that. So let's talk about that for a moment. So, you get up, you live your life. Look around at the people that you know. So, for instance, in my life, I'll get up, and the people I know are going to work. They're living their lives. They're raising their families. They're good to their kids. They're walking their dogs. And the black people I know are working their jobs. They're raising their families. They're good, solid people. The immigrants I know, whether legal or illegal, and I'm not asking them. I'm not saying who's legal or who's illegal, but the ones that I know who have been here for decades, and those are, for the most part, legal immigrants, they're frightened now. They're frightened that they're going to not be able to stay here after living here for 20, 30 years. And they're worried that they'll be separated from their kids, or from their families. Even people who are here legally are frightened. Fear is what's happening now, and yet when I look at the people, what do immigrants bring to our lives? Well, you go to a restaurant, they're bringing you your food, they're cutting your hair, they're doing your lawns, or perhaps they're teaching in your universities. They're making your life better in a million ways. This is a country of immigrants. More than that, I go around. Muslims are everywhere I go. And are they terrorists? No. They're regular people. They're living their lives. They're doing their jobs. They're friendly to their neighbors. They're helping people. They're making the world a better place. People are your family. They're human beings. We're all part of one family. So don't judge the world from what you see in television and movies. Don't judge the world from the news. Also, look around you at the world you live in and ask yourself, what are people actually doing? What are the actions people are actually taking? Have direct experience, and you'll see that the world is not nearly as scary a place as the news and as politicians would have you believe. Now, there's certain news programs I do listen to. There's certain things I do watch because I want to be informed. But again, keep in mind, anytime something's trying to make you afraid, something is trying to make your life smaller, something is trying to make America a crueler place, a smaller place. I mean, just think about what this country will be like if we don't have the rich diversity of people that we've always had. It will not be a better place. It will be a much worse place. So my reaction to all of this is, first of all, to speak out, but more than that, talk is cheap. So I'm trying to take action, but the actions I'm trying to take specifically are to be kinder. If I see someone struggling with groceries, if I see someone who needs help, even in parking. If there's a garbage can and they can't park because the garbage can's in the way, I'll jump in, I'll move, I'll smile at people, I'll be friendly, I'll say hello, I'll reach out. I'll make the world a better place, a person at a time, a step at a time. But of course, I think that we need larger actions than that. But remember that as long as I can remember in my life, and certainly for centuries before, look at politicians who try to make you more afraid. Look at politicians who scapegoat and blame. Look at all of that. It's I'm working on the Twilight Zone Companion, the new edition, and Serling is talking about the politicians, the Ku Klux Klan, and then the American Nazis, and all of these people who came from fear, talking about the Kennedy assassination, and all of these things. And the events are different, but the motivations of politicians, the motivations of evil small people, are the same. It's I think there's the politics of cruelty, but to offset that, you can have the life of compassion. And again, if you've had personal experience of hatred and bigotry being directed against you, or if you've had tragedies in your life, don't let that rule your life. It's sort of like take off the sunglasses of individual terrible experience and look around at the world and see the larger life of love, compassion, goodness, humanity. It's one of the most amazing things I ever heard anyone say was when the little girls were bombed in the church, the little black girls, and Martin Luther King was called upon to quiet the mob that wanted to result in retaliation and violence. He referred to the terrible men who had done this awful act, and he referred to them as our sick white brothers, and he understood that you don't end hatred with hatred, you don't end violence with violence. Love is the only thing that can make the world better. I strongly believe that. And, Twilight Zone, I think the reason Twilight Zone has lasted, because I'm writing the Twilight Zone Companion, is not because of Rod Serling's great gift with a story. It was Rod's great heart. If you look at stories like Eye of the Beholder or The Obsolete Man, or so many of the Twilight Zone episodes, you can see the compassion for the individual, the strong feeling that every person has a right to be seen and to be known. There's lessons we can learn from film and TV, but they're lessons that make for a larger and a better world, a more compassionate, loving world. And I think these are the lessons we need to draw. But I think in every day, in every way, we have to reach out with love and compassion. We must not let the world be ruled by these illusions of who the enemy is. I think that any time you wonder where to bring your attention and study what's actually happening, is don't look at the powerless as the villains. Look at the powerful people, and say, okay, what do they have to gain? Where's the win for those who are espousing hatred and smallness and scarcity? Anyway, I just wanted to talk about all of this for a few minutes because I'm very concerned, and I think that day by day each of us has a responsibility, and the challenge is on us to reach out with love and compassion, and not allow what's happening to happen. So that's it for now. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.